center court for the championship final of the Miller Lite Milwaukee Open. Hi again, everybody. Chris Marlowe along with Paul. Sunderland 30 teams started off in this tournament. Now we are down to 2, and what a great championship final we have for you. The Kings of the Beach, Karch Kiraly and Kent Steffes, against the champs of Chicago, Randy Stoklos and Brian Lewis. First, let's talk about Kiraly and Steffes. Historically, how good is this team?
Well, I think it's a great team. They've won 35 out of the last 45 events, and it's early in their reign, but they may be proving themselves to be the greatest beach volleyball team of all time, and they've been a tour wrecking crew, quite frankly. They broke up Hovland and Dodd 2 years ago. This year, they broke up the winningest team of all time, St. John Smith and Randy Stoklos. They've gone undefeated in the month of July, and as you might imagine, they've done exactly the same here in Milwaukee. Earlier action today, winning the winner's bracket in easy fashion. They win that match at 11:30, and they're able to sit down and rest ever since this point. A nonchalant victory, and they go down into the pool players' tent and rest while everybody else toils.
Randy Stoklos and Brian Lewis, you saw them in Chicago. They played flawless volleyball. It was a big upset at the time. This will be their 8th tournament together. They've had a bumpy road getting to the final, although they played well.
They have played well, and remember, they beat Karch Kiraly and Kent Steffes in Chicago, and along the way, they have run into some fairly formidable obstacles. Yesterday's action, Randy Stoklos pursuing a ball, runs into the immovable object. Over he goes. Lots of concern that he would be unable to continue. But as you will see, Randy Stoklos is a little bit bigger and better built than the average bear. Yeah, he's flexing that big left shoulder, and he was indeed ready to continue. Well, Kiraly and Steffes were resting. Stoklos and Lewis had to continue on playing. 1 o'clock this afternoon, 1:45 to be exact, against former partner St. John Smith and his new partner, Ricky Ludes. Match point. Look at the great effort by Stoklos and Lewis. They win that match, and again, Kiraly and Steffes continue to rest. 1 hour later, Stoklos and Lewis would have to strap it on again. This time against Adam Johnson and Scott Akatubby, emerging as a very tough team out on the beach. And once again, Lewis and Stoklos were victorious. Well, Kiraly and Steffes sat around and rested. Could be a tired team.
4th time this year. Karch Kiraly getting loose. He's 32 years old, born in Jackson, Michigan. He started playing volleyball when he was 6. 19 years later, at the age of 25, he was the best volleyball player in the world. His partner, also from Michigan, Ann Arbor, Michigan, Kent Steffes. He won 18 tournaments last year on a record $330,000. Randy Stoklos, second on the all-time list. Big, strong, powerful, and energized. His partner, Brian Lewis, is 25 years old, 2 wins, but playing big with his jump serve in this tournament. First serve into the bottom of the net. This is 1 game to 15 points for the championship. Kent Steffes to serve it up, 25 years old. That's going to be a lift call on Kent Steffes. First referee, Jim Leonard, making the call, and a good one.
I'm not so sure, Chris. Volleyball's a rebound sport. He might have hooked it a bit, but that ball comes off his hand pretty quickly. Off the top of the block. Yeah, second lift. That was a lift. Good call.
The ensuing serve by Randy Stoklos out of bounds. 2 quick serving errors for Stoklos and Lewis. Karch Kiraly with the serve. Good call. Lewis, angle, side out.
Lewis and Stoklos still a new team, and newer than they would be ordinarily, because Randy Stoklos missed a couple of events with an injury, missed the Manhattan Beach Open a couple of weeks ago.
Brian Lewis set to tee it up.
Nice serve. Take it out, man. Take it out.
Back over. Karch crunches it.
It's going to be a real duel early for momentum. Lewis and Stoklos need at least 4 aces to be competitive in this match, in my opinion. They will go for it every time back.
And the serve is long from Kent Steffes. So beach volleyball's first $1 million man, Randy Stoklos. He's ranked 3rd on the AVP computer, despite the fact that he's missed 3 tournaments. No score. Karch bingoes another one. Conventional wisdom is that you serve Steffes, not Karai.
Well, Kent Steffes had some very bad spells in earlier matches, earlier tournaments, but those have completely disappeared.
Championship final, the Miller Lite Milwaukee Open. Stoklos, BB.
So far, Stoklos and Lewis seem very fresh. Randy jumping very well, getting right on top of the ball.
Stoklos, the man at the net. His partner, Brian Lewis, from Corona Del Mar, California. All kinds of jump servers. And it's under the net. 1-0, Lewis Stoklos.
That's what Lewis and Stoklos have to create. There's ace number one. And I asked Kent Steffes what he improved on most from the beginning of the year when he was shaky till now. He said it was his passing, and that's what gave him the problem there.
Duck by Lewis. Stoklos can't go. So the side out will go to Karai and Steffes. Kent Steffes still sporting the Band-Aid that he must wear the rest of the summer. He has a 10-inch scar under that. He is not allowed to get sun on that scar. Michael Jackson's plastic surgeon did the repair work. Lewis to tie it up. Got it.
Big difference between these two teams, Chris. Brian Lewis plays defense the entire time. In other words, covers the back of the court. Randy Stoklos has to do all the blocking. Steffes and Karai share those responsibilities.
Lewis creamed it.
Getting back to the difference in these two teams, when Karai and Steffes share the blocking responsibilities, it's fewer jumps and they're fresher. I think it helps them through the course of these long, hot tournaments.
Randy Stoklos, who says he would love to play in the 1996 Olympics if beach volleyball is included, with the serve. 1-1. Karch cutting inside. Karch's father from Hungary taught Karch how to play on the beach at an early age. Karch played in his first tournament when he was 11, tying the record for the youngest player ever to compete in a beach volleyball tournament with Larry Rundle, 11 years old. Lewis challenging Steffes early.
Well, Brian Lewis has got a rocket for a right arm. One of the smallest players out on tour, but makes up for it with the speed of his arm swing, can hit all the angles, but prefers to go down the line, and that's where Karai and Steffes will try to stop him.
Good. Over. Stoklos.
I tell you, Kent Steffes having some problems at the beginning of this match. He shanked a pass. Now watch his timing. Look at him. He broad jumps way under the net. Didn't time that play at all well. Cost his team a point.
Lewis and Stoklos lead 2-1. Louis with the dig. Can he put it away? No.
Side out.
2-point scoring opportunities by the board early, both against Brian Lewis. Had a cross-court dig he should have made, and he got to keep that ball in the court. That may come back to haunt them later on.
Kent Steffes to serve it up, trailing 2-1.
Come on!
Nice shot. Randy Stoklos for the longest time with St. John Smith makes a good decision.
Well, Brian Lewis, a great setter, looks at the defense. Here's the angle call, and then Randy Stoklos just slicing it off perfectly.
Go cut!
Karch beans one. Karch wearing his lucky pink hat, as he calls it, with 2 Olympic gold medals voted by the FIVB, the International Volleyball Federation, 1986. They created an award, the best volleyball player in the world. Out of bounds, point, Karai Steffes. That ties it up at 2.
Big moment for Brian Lewis. Sure, he and Randy Stoklos won in Chicago, but they beat Kirayan Steffes along the way, not in the finals, and he's making some mistakes early. Got to be feeling the pressure.
Through Steffes. So Lewis gets the side out, talking it over. They are very, very good friends. Matter of fact, Brian Lewis has said many times that Randy Stoklos is his most admired volleyball player. Always wanted to play with Stoklos. Of course, Stoklos for 11 years ruled the beach with St. John Smith. Smith and Luty's finishing 4th in this tournament. Steffes down the line.
Like Brian Lewis, that's where Kent Steffes prefers to go as well. Down the line corridor, and players have a preference. You'll see Karch Kiraly. He likes to bomb the ball hard cross court, and as a blocker and defender, you've got to play in front of the opposition's strength.
Steffes and Kiraly on what we think is the good side right now, tied 2-2.
Line!
And line, it's out. So Lewis and Stoklos led 2-1, but Karch and Kent come back quickly. A side change, just under 7 minutes to go. A 1-point game. Welcome back to the Miller Lite Milwaukee Open. Kirayan Steffes are leading by a point. Kent Steffes, he's an unusual volleyball player, goes out of his way to not be a beach bum. He's a Republican with an economics degree who began playing the stock market when he was 12 with a bankroll of $1,000 provided by his father. Today, that bankroll worth over $20,000. He says, when I quit volleyball, I'm going to be a corporate raider, and he's gotten a good start.
Well, he considers Ross Perot to be too liberal.
Stoklos and Lewis led 2-1. Kirayan Steffes scored 2 in a row. That's where we stand at the first break. Kirayan Steffes leading by a point, 3-2. 2
of Kirayan and Steffes' 3 points coming on unforced errors by Stoklos and Lewis. They got to cut that down and get back into their tough serving game.
Over the top, good shot by Steffes. A nice set by Karch Kiraly.
You can hear the definitive call by Kent Steffes' partner. Karch Kiraly sets the ball, again, looks at the defense over him, which means right over the top of the blocker.
3 serving 2. Trying to save a point here. Stoklos. Karch got it.
Kiraly with the off speed to end it, but it's the blocking of Steffes that really makes this happen. Again, the blocker can hit the ball twice in a row. Look at the defense of Stoklos and Lewis bunched in the middle. Kiraly slicing off the angle.
Stoklos. Line. And he's trying to shoot, and it's not working. Karch. Line. For 5. For some reason, Randy Stoklos is not heating it up. He's not hitting Paul.
Well, he got off to a good start, but right now he's sucking wind a little bit. Remember, they've played a number of more matches. We documented that for you.
Here we go now.
And Kirayan Steffes started on Brian Lewis, but are now on Randy Stoklos the whole way.
Lewis and Stoklos take time out. Miller Lite Grand Prix, it's a bonus system used to reward players at the end of the year. $500,000 paid out to 48 players, Paul.
And as you can see, Kirayan Steffes will dominate that race as well. First prize, $75,000. Second, $38,000. You wonder how they're going to split that up? You got it. What is that? $113,000. 50-50.
Kirayan Steffes will split up the top 2 spots. We can tell you that. Kirayan Steffes leading 5-2 after trailing 2-1. Stoklos in red, and he crunches it. Stoklos was timed as the hardest hitter on the beach a couple of years back by the radar gun, 94 miles an hour.
But you need the great set to establish that. And Kirayan Steffes on target defensively with Randy Stoklos now, getting a hand on everything he hits.
Good. Nice serve. Kent up high.
You see Brian Lewis never throwing the same jump serve at Kent Steffes or Karch Kiraly in a row. The scroogey, the change of place, the jump knuckle. You've got to give Kiraly and Steffes a different look.
5-2. Kiraly and Steffes lead Lewis and Stoklos, and now Stoklos will have the ball. He's got 3 national commercials running right now. Sun protection, a razor blade, and a soft drink. Good-looking guy, gets a lot of on-air time. Would like to be a television commentator when he's through. Take your job, Paul.
Or yours, Mr. Marlowe. Randy Stoklos' wife adorns the cover of this month's Elle magazine. So she's doing perfectly well in her own right.
A top fashion model, 5-2, Kiraly Steffes lead. And Randy booms it off Steffes. So Stoklos at the net. Brian Lewis, his partner, is 6'1", and he is a server. Didn't take up volleyball until after the 1984 Olympic Games. Kiraly saying cut, and Kent slicing and dicing very well.
Steffes serving.
3-point lead for Kiraly Steffes, the championship final. Miller Lite Milwaukee Open. Karch tries to corkscrew, couldn't make it.
But that's what you call a confident try. Nothing bashful about the scoring game of Kiraly and Steffes. Deflection, the touch on the block counts on the beach. Different from indoors, and Kiraly really not aware of exactly his location on the court, but going for it all the same.
Stoklos, another serving error. The third for Stoklos. And so Karch Kiraly will serve. Into the net. You might be right, Paul. Stoklos could be fatiguing.
Tried to come out very strong, bombed the first few balls to convince Kiraly and Steffes that he was fresh and ready to go. But not fooling them of late.
5 straight points now for Kiraly. Stoklos looking fresh on that one.
The best way not to get served is to crank about 10 balls in a row, 90 miles an hour across court. Can Stoklos do it physically?
Lewis and Stoklos beat Scott Akatubby and Adam Johnson to advance here. Akatubby and Johnson finishing third. As the serve is missed by Lewis. If Lewis and Stoklos don't serve better, they can't win this game.
Well, Brian Lewis has the lone ace for his team. They have 4 service errors among them.
Jim Leonard calls a throw on Brian Lewis.
That was a double hit. It doesn't matter. You double hit the ball. I heard a double hit. I saw a double hit. Here we go.
I thought I saw a putty tat.
Let's go, Brian.
Tight pass, tough chance for Brian Lewis. He's got to get near the net, can't touch the net, and the ball comes out. A double contact ruled by referee Jim Leonard.
I think that was a
out of your hands simultaneously. Yeah, that's too tight a call. This level of play, let the players decide it. That's too tight a call and a big momentum killer for Stoklos and Lewis if they need any more problems.
Kiraly Steffes rolling by 5 at the moment.
Quick break on center court. 7-2 to score. Kiraly Steffes against Lewis Stoklos.
10 seconds.
6 straight points by Kiraly and Steffes. A couple of weeks ago, we showed you one of Karch's namesakes. Karch Kiraly. Yes, that was Karch von Wienerdogen. This week, some new evidence. Karch von Wiener child? No, Karch Steffes France, born in May.
Come on.
Steffes with a save. Steffes with a save. And he puts it away.
Kent Steffes Steffes, the fresher legs, the key to this match right now. Bombing up the middle after two phenomenal plays, covering the entire court.
7 in a row for Karai Steffes, the Kings of the Beach. Back dancing, Marvin Hall, the only dancing referee in sports, doing his thing on the sand. Shaking and baking.
He may be more popular than the Kings of the Beach.
Marvin Hall, shimmying and shaking. Okay, Chris Marlowe and Paul Sunderland, the Miller Lite Milwaukee Open. Great day for volleyball. Sun is out. Karch Karai and Kent Steffes, after trailing 2-1 early to Brian Lewis and Randy Stoklos, have run off 7 straight points. Great defense by Steffes. Lewis and Stoklos have to get back into it now. What do they do?
Jump serve. They need aces. Randy Stoklos needs to block a ball. They need something to completely turn the momentum around.
Stoklos. And off the top of Stoklos. The little bingo.
See, when Lewis and Stoklos fall behind early, they get much more conservative with their jump serving. They've got to forget that. If they're going to get back into this match, they have to go for it.
And that jump serve, a woeful one. Karch trying to guide it. It went right out of bounds. So Brian Lewis, whose father, Brian Sr., heads the film department at Orange Coast College out in California. His father won a tournament, the Santa Cruz Open, back in 1970. Brian, one of the only father-son players to ever win tournaments. Two other teams, I should say, Dane and Gene Selznick, and Dane and Bernie Holtzman. So Brian Lewis, his father, both won tournaments. Come on. Steffes is there. The 8th straight point for Karai and Steffes.
Lewis and Stoklos cannot side out, and every time Karai and Steffes get their hands on a ball, they're able to convert.
Steffes. And another one out of bounds, but aggressive jump serving is keeping the pressure on.
Well, they're up 9-2. They're siding out with no problem whatsoever. Why not go for a tough serve?
Out. Just out. Karch had the call. Sloppy serving game so far.
6 service errors for the team of Stoklos and Lewis so far.
Lewis off Steffes. Nice shot.
Side out. Louis.
Once again, Brian Lewis has to jump higher and hit harder in order to survive out here. Ripping the ball off Kent Steffes.
Here comes Brian Lewis, trailing 9-2.
Overcut. Nice shot.
Good shot. Delicately done. Kent Steffes.
Side out. Karai and Steffes.
Will serve. He has a very interesting family. His father, Jackson, works for Hughes Aircraft. His mother, Sandra, is a registered nurse, a lactation specialist. And his brother, Byron, is a karate instructor who can break bricks with his head. Steffes with the Zulu dig goes out of bounds.
And as we both know, as stubborn as Kent Steffes is, his brother must have mistaken his head for a brick at one point along the way when they were kids.
Here comes Stoklos.
Disdaining the jump serve.
Over him. Lewis just missed it. Brian Lewis, quite frankly, does not have the wingspan of some of the other players who can lurch out. He's got to get going in a hurry.
Well, but the question is, having played 2 or 3 more matches before the final, it's been a hot and humid day here in Milwaukee. Does he have it left physically?
9-2 is our score. Stoklos. Karch has it. Kent. Could be a point coming. Not yet. To save a point. Louis got it. Brian Lewis trying to rev up the crowd just a bit.
I'll tell you, if Lewis and Stoklos lose this rally, the match is over right here and now. Absolutely essential that Lewis somehow find a way through. And Steffes is playing phenomenal defense. Chasing, again, Same size court as we see in the Olympic Games, only 2 players, long rally, and this is a kill Brian Lewis absolutely had to come through on. High flat off the top of the block.
Stoklos. Good. Oh, what a shot.
Lewis and Stoklos.
How big was the play before, saved by Brian Lewis? Leads to a point-scoring opportunity. You got to have all the shots, all the ways to get out of trouble. This one deep cross court.
And Kent Steffes, who's huffing and puffing just a bit, calls a 20-second sand timeout. Lewis and Stoklos led 2-1. Karai and Steffes whipping up 8 straight points. Still 8. Our situation right now, it's 9-3.
The Miller Lite Open here in Milwaukee.
Next Saturday, we go from the Olympic Stadium of 1992 to the Olympic Stadium of 1936 for more preseason NFL. The Buffalo Bills will take on the Minnesota Vikings from Berlin's Olympic Stadium. The excitement of the NFL continues next Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern, right here on NBC. Chris Marlowe, Paul Sunderland, championship final, the Miller Lite Milwaukee Open. Light! Stoklos with the Kong, double contact.
That melted a little in Kent Steffes' paws. Kent Steffes a couple of setting mistakes in a row. You cannot set the ball this close to the net. Karch is just trying to survive here. Stoklos way over with the Kong block. And then Kent Steffes down below. He's down. There's the cover. Now look at this. The deep dish, it comes out faster than it appears. Good call, I think.
2 straight for Lewis Stoklos. Can't get a break as Lewis could not convert.
Third point scoring opportunity uncapitalized by Brian Lewis.
Steffes to serve, his team leading by 5. Nice shot. Randy Stoklos going up high over the block. Stoklos, the 3-time most valuable player on the AVP Tour, 88, 89, and 91. Cut! And Karch slicing inside. Karch looks very fit. I asked him what he weighed today, and he said about 200. I was sick a little earlier in the year in Cleveland, but he is as clean as he has been. Powerfully built. Once jumped 40 inches in a vertical test on the Olympic team. And boom!
Just when Lewis and Stoklos were creeping slowly back into this match, a mental error. Brian Lewis has got to focus. He shanks this pass straight to Kent Steffes for the kill.
Karai and Steffes are on the good side for at least 1 more point. And another ace!
Their service game was sloppy early, but they have cleaned things up. Back-to-back winners from Karai.
Karai and Steffes have the lead of 7. Welcome you back to Bradford Beach. Chris Marlowe, Paul Sunderland, the Miller Lite Milwaukee Open. Karai and Steffes with a run of 8 straight points have broken it open. It is 11-4. The Kings of the Beach leading Randy Stoklos and Brian Lewis on a beautiful day as Karai just 4 points away from winning his 14th tournament of the year. Kent Steffes could win his 15th. Steffes also won one in Brazil earlier. Steffes sees Karai dig it, and Karai shoveled it back over. Karch is there again. And he puts it away.
Karai and Steffes are fresher. We talked about that. And when you've got fresh legs, you make these kind of plays. Hustling, covering the court, and when you have the opportunity to finish, you got the strength to do it. Fine.
Stoklos revving up again. Fans are cheering for Stoklos and Lewis, the underdog team here.
Side out. Lewis Stoklos. Brian Lewis back to serve.
Stoklos at the net. And here comes Lewis, trailing by 8.
Cut!
Back set. Put it away.
Lewis and Stoklos.
Finally, a breakthrough by Brian Lewis with the score. Talked about communication. Brian Lewis hammering here. I gave the call. Steffes did not listen.
Nice shot. And right on the line. Also give credit to Randy Stoklos. A fabulous athletic back set to make that play happen. Stoklos with the sweetest set of hands on the beach, bar none.
12-5.
Steffes, his team leading 12-5.
What are you going to do? They take turns blocking, they take turns jump serving, they take turns scrambling and covering, playing great defense, covering all areas of the court.
And a 45-second timeout taken by Brian Lewis and Randy Stoklos. So the Kings of the Beach are pouring it on right now, just 2 points away from victory. Some say Karch Kiraly is the greatest player of all time, beach or indoor. But this man, Ron Lang, the only player ever on the beach to win every tournament. He won 7 in 1966, 6 with Ron Von Hagen, 1 with Gene Selznick. Ron Lang today would be $1 million volleyball player, one of the greatest ever, and perhaps the greatest competitor I ever saw.
It's a big statement. I came up just as Ron was finishing his career, saw him win a couple of tournaments towards the end. Great all-around player and an Olympian in his own right.
Karch is 3rd on the all-time list in victories. Lang is 8th, if you're wondering. Look out for groundhogs.
Detonation. Perfect set by Kent Steffes. And where is the block?
Brian Lewis dug in his foxhole. 13-5. Stoklos answers back.
And glares at Karch, matching him bomb for bomb. You know, Kiraly and Steffes have only given up 23 points in the tournament coming in. Average of 5 a game. They're up 13-5, right on schedule.
Lewis and Stoklos having to play 4 more matches than Kiraly and Steffes today. In their bid, their comeback bid. Lewis and Stoklos, the winner of the consolation bracket.
They fell in to the losers bracket earlier today, lost a semifinal match, and they had to play a series of matches to get back into this final. Double elimination format.
Come on! Steffes has it. And Steffes puts it away. Ball is down.
Kiraly Steffes.
14-5.
Just too fresh, physically doing it all. And to complicate matters, Kiraly and Steffes probably train harder than any team on the beach.
Another full timeout taken to Stoklos and Lewis. Kiraly and Steffes on their way, becoming, well, some say the greatest team of all time. They are proving it here today in Milwaukee. We are back in Milwaukee. Kent Steffes getting ready to serve up championship point. His partner, Karch Kiraly, a monument to intensity. He never left that position the entire timeout. He is ready and willing to make the final play.
The timeout was called, and he did not move.
Steffes, first championship point. Good save there. Winning team splits $30,000 in this $150,000 event. Dollar event, I should say. Stoklos already over $1 million, and Karch, with his paycheck today, becomes the 3rd man ever to win $1 million on the beach. That's out.
And Kent Steffes, after this week, will only be about $30,000 behind. Probably get it in the next couple of weeks. He will be the 4th.
Here comes Karch. Lewis and Stoklos have played well, but not up to the power of Kiraly and Steffes. Lewis bongos it.
Tied out.
So Brian Lewis to serve.
The 3 or 4 chances that Brian Lewis and Randy Stoklos missed early in this match to score, I think, really cost them.
Nobody.
Lewis has the dig. Need a point here desperately. And he gets it. Lewis and Stoklos trying to hang on here. A little bit weary. And they trail big with the fans. And we will continue. With Paul Sunderland, I'm Chris Marlowe. The Miller Lite Milwaukee Open, Brian Steffes. Our leading Brian Lewis and Randy Stoklos, who won Chicago 14-6. Lewis and Stoklos led early 2-1, but Brian Steffes breaking it open with a run of 8 straight points to take a 9-4 lead, which they have increased right now to 14-6. Brian Steffes just too powerful, too well conditioned, and too fresh.
Exactly. We documented what Lewis and Stoklos were going through while Kirai and Steffes lounged around in the players' tent and relaxed. And that added rest has been the key to the match.
For the championship. Attempt number 3. Karch got the block. A bang-up game that ends with a whimper. Kirai right there, and his team wins it. 15-6. Brian Steffes has now won 5 in a row, 10 out of the last 11, 14 out of 18, and 36 of the last 46. Stay with us. We're coming back.